Yes, hello. I am Elizabeth, and today I just wanted to. Before I start, let me just introduce myself. I'm a life coach, mind expert life coach, trainer for diversity and communication management, and a motivational speaker. Now, during the course of my coaching, I've come across number of people that have been talking to me in regard to the pains that they are experiencing, and yet they do not have a place or a space where they can go and just find healing. And healing in terms of going to, let's say, to German therapists, and not having them understand culturally what they're going through makes it more difficult for them. And apart from that, in the diaspora, finding people that you can really trust and rely on to be able to just talk about your problems is also one very difficult problem. Now I decided that okay, in order to be able to solve people's problems, I've creating what I'm calling a Ubuntu healing and talking stick space, or circle for that matter. Now, Ubuntu, the word I used, I've taken the word from our cultural background, because I know that our cultures were previously founded based on talking to one another, being there for one another. That is our culture. We had a space where, if it was intergenerational, or where you found uncles were there for their nieces and their nephews, or the grandmothers and grandfathers for their the grandchildren, and there was always somewhere where you could go and talk to if you found yourself lacking that air where you could breathe, and driving to, forcing you to think too much, or to, to find yourself in a space where you are, because you're not able to just get rid of this pain, uh, running the risk of going into depression, into burnouts, or something like that. So I decided that, why don't I try and find, back to the roots, some sort of a space where we Africans can be able to come together, who are experiencing pain, the invisible pain, who are experiencing this pain and are looking for, how did somebody manage to overcome? How can I overcome? Or a space where I can just talk to somebody without being judged, and without having the fear of this being exposed to the outside. So I came up with this word Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a word that is a Bantu word, actually, that is used in Southern Africa, and it actually means I am because we are. And or rather, it is a humanity towards others. So we are going to be with humane with one another here, because we all are having the same problem. We all have a common denominator, and that is pain. It can be pain in any direction. It could be pain, emotional pain. It could be pain for having lost somebody. It could be pain because you're not you're finding yourself lonely. Pain is the invisible pain is a real big spectrum. So what I'm going to do is that, this initiative is where I'm going to offer people a confidential space where they can meet and be able to just talk to one another, share with one another, cry and laugh with one another, in the aim of supporting and strengthening each other's in this field of pain. Now, I looked for a traditional or an indigenous method of how we used to do this talking to one another, and I had to come up with something that could be much more, could relate to this setup that we are in here in Germany, and that is what I came across: the Aborigines, the indigenous Canadians and Australian people, the Aborigines. They use what is called the talking stick and a feather. Now, the talking stick has also been used in very many setups in peace related matters, in conflict related matters, but also on the emotional aspect matters, where the person who is holding the stake significantly is the only person who is allowed to talk. Nobody is allowed to give any opinion as to whether the person's pains are more or less than yours. They are legitimate, they are right, they're wrong. There is absolutely, the stick gives the person that position of now being able to just talk as to how they are feeling. And we, the people who are there, our role is to listen, to be there, to maybe hold, to comfort, to give a leaning shoulder on. And if the person wishes to have somebody that can be able to directly confirm to their or to relate to their relationship, there's going to be the feather which somebody can take and then relate to that. This is just in brief. But basically, this is what I am going to be doing in future from 2020. I think the first very meeting I'm going to do is before Christmas, because that is when people really, really get lonely. And that is when I'm going to try and get to see if we can be able to start up with a smaller one first as I develop it to get bigger. And in addition, I will be training people also to be facilitators of running such groups, because I cannot definitely cover the whole country, but I will be giving people doing the TOT, train the trainer, where you can be also have your own groups that you are going to be running near you, as somebody who is, yourself interested in being helping other people, or you yourself, you have gone through this and you want to also be an inspiration and a help to the other people. So those are the two lines that I'm going to be working on. One, I'm going to be trying to make as many meetings as I can around Germany. And secondly, I will be doing a lot of training, some of them because of financial and the fact that it may not be possible for me to travel everywhere. We're going to go back and use the technology system, and these trainers, I would be able to train, a portion of their training would be done then online for those who are interested. So how do you get in touch with me? Inbox me, send me an email, or you call me. You can find all my details online. Do not feel any fears of contacting me, because everybody who contacts me, all your contacts will not be shared to anybody. It'll be confined, and even the spaces where we're going to be meeting initially, they are going to be confidential, so that I don't have people butting in without having previously gotten in touch or done the unmelding, so that I know that this is a person that is not going to be a danger for us from the outside. So, fine.